Okay, this would be part 6 in the Harley Golf Cart series. You might remember in the last video, part 5, I was testing out some exhaust modifications. I had a small automotive muffler that I added in series with the motorcycle muffler, and we brought the sound or the decibels down to where I couldn't distinguish any muffler sound over the sound of just the engine block itself. Realizing the muffler I had before was bringing the decibel level of exhaust down below the noise of the engine block itself. So I've decided to scratch doing that and went to thinking of modifying the header to curve back somehow, either through here and down, welded, or a sharp bend right out of the exhaust port by the flange back down in here, and something like that. I haven't decided. However, when I took off the header, I was expecting to find a gasket in there between the flange and the exhaust port, and there was no gasket. What I did find was a lot of oily carbon buildup, a little bit up on the flange, showing me that it wasn't a tight seal, and so some of it was leaking out. And you can see, I'm not going to move the camera, but down on the engine block, down in there, it's all oily because of the exhaust leaking and blowing down in there, which I figured that's what it was from. But I just thought, well, maybe it was from a different time. But I thought perhaps that the last time they put the exhaust on, they put a gasket by the flange, but they didn't. So, knowing that will also reduce some of the sound, I'm opting to go back to just the motorcycle exhaust that I had and modify the header as I described a bit ago, and have it all welded up. I'm gonna make something out of Schedule 40 pipe, and then I'm gonna sand it down and paint it with a high temperature paint. And then what I was gonna do with that, bring it in here up over the axle, and then perhaps put the muffler that I have somewhere in here, sideways, up above, the lowest part of the golf cart. Like, I think the lowest part is that flange where the shock absorber is attached. So as long as I can keep it above that, we'll be all right. After I get the customized header complete, get the exhaust back to where the muffler would be, we'll see what the sound decibel profile is of the engine when the shell is down. I'm guessing it will be a little better if I put a new gasket there, but it'll still be louder than I would prefer. So my next idea was to create a soundproofing box that would go underneath and have 4 sides here. It'd be open on the top because this is really close to touching the bottom of the shell here. So what I was thinking of was making this the top lid of that soundproofing box. I would soundproof the bottom of this in some way, whether it's that stick-on stuff with the heat reflective material that would reflect it down. I don't know. We'll figure that out when we get there. So that would come down and it would, you know, lay against a gasket on the top of that sound deadening box. And don't jump ahead and think that I'm gonna overheat the engine by containing that inside. I'm planning to have a port, like a pipe or tube that fits against the face of this, connected to that box. Use a flange and mount it to some of these bolts here, whatever, and then that would come out through the box, and then I'd probably bring it down like this to eliminate some of the noise from that cooling fan. All right, so that's drawing air in from the outside down low, and it's blowing it inside this shroud here, and then around and up there's ports that come up through these fins right here. So as long as the box has some kind of vent in it, I'm guessing, you know, maybe a vent, you know, out here close to the top, or out this direction, maybe out the side, just to let the heat that comes off of there just escape, and that'll be enough. That'd be adequate to keep it generally in the same temperature range that it's at now. So that's my plan. And I have an update on the secondary clutch. It's in the mail. My buddy Don in Alabama at partsforcarts.com has taken the time to help me get a used one off of an old Harley. And this is a shout out to Don, just say thank you, and check out their website, partsforcarts.com. So when I get that on, eventually it's gonna take some doing, because it's he told me it's seized up, and I'll have to soak it and get it separated so I can make it operational. So when that gets on there, I will update you again. So I'll see you in the next video.